It's Tuesday, July 19th, 2018. We're going to do this again. CFL report. CFL predictions. We're going to try to do this again. We went 1-2 last week. Not very good. But we're going to try again. We got 4 games. Try again. Now, picking NFL and picking CFL is different because NFL, I know a decent amount. Picking CFL, I really know not very much at all, but I'm going to try. So don't look at this and go, I'm going to go to Vegas and go off of this guy's picks for the CFL. Don't, because it's a bad idea. I'm only picking at 33% so far. So don't. But I'm going to try it again because it's fun. I like keeping track of this stuff. I like figuring it out. I'm going to see if I can't, by the end of the season, right the ship and finish at above 500 picking games for the CFL. And I'm learning more and more all the time. So we're going to start with Hamilton and Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is going to Hamilton to play in Tim Hortons Stadium, or Field. This is to finish the home at home. They played 2 weeks ago, had last week off, and now they're finishing the home at home in Hamilton this time. Saskatchewan beat them 18-13. The weird part about that is Hamilton's favored by 10.5. Masoli is going for his 10th straight game at over 300 yards, which would break the record that has been set by 2 other guys previous to him and him. They've all tied with 3 guys have tied with 9 straight games of 300 plus yards throwing. Do I think he'll do that tonight? Yeah, he did it against Saskatchewan 2 weeks ago. Why can't he do it tonight? Saskatchewan has a little bit of problems in the secondary. I think Masoli gets it. I also think Hamilton wins this. Now, will they win by 10, 10.5? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't take the points on that. 10.5 is a big give, especially when Saskatchewan beat them. But I think, I think Hamilton will come out with something to prove. I think the Ticats will probably pull this one off. Saskatchewan is going to go with, the 2-man rotation thing again, playing a couple of different offenses. Watford and Bridge. Are going to, I guess, go back and forth in this game. So you'll have Watford and Bridge, going in and out. And I'm not a big fan of this, although it worked last week because they did the same thing. But I'm not a big fan of this. I've watched this with other teams before. A quarterback doesn't ever really get a chance to get in a rhythm. But maybe in the CFL, that's not as big of a deal because, maybe it happens a little bit more than it does in the NFL. I mean, in the NFL, it's super rare. But I think Masoli is definitely the better quarterback out of all the quarterbacks that are going to play. Remember, Bridge and Watford are backups to Caleros. So, their best quarterback is not on the field, and the 2 quarterbacks they have behind him, serviceable. Saskatchewan's 2-2 along with Hamilton, but I think the Ticats pull this one out of the bag. BC at Ottawa. BC really messed me up last week. I thought I had a real chance at 2-1, and Lille played really well at the end of the game, and BC got the victory. Ottawa's favored by 7 in this game. I don't see Ottawa losing this game to BC. I don't know if Lille has another really good game like he did last week. You might have something. But I think Harris bounces back. I think Powell has a better game, and it is in Ottawa. So I think Vancouver will probably, that's a long trip for Vancouver, which is all the way on the west coast to go all the way to Ottawa. So it's definitely a long trip for them, but. So I'll give it to Ottawa. I think Harris and Powell do it a little bit better. I think maybe Ottawa has a little bit more for BC than Winnipeg's defense does. If I have to pick on this, I am going to pick on this. This is what I'm going to do. I'll take Ottawa in this game. Would I give him the 7 points? I don't know. If Lille plays really good, then, he's still the wild card in all this. I don't know how good he's really going to be. Did he just have one good game because nobody's ever seen him before? Or has seen him this is the first time he was seen this season, and so we kind of caught Winnipeg off guard? Or is it just because Winnipeg's defense maybe felt like they had the game, or there were a lot of, there was especially a late turnover that led to that winning field goal. So, but the fact of the matter is, you're up by 17 to nothing going with a quarter and a half left, and you still lose. That's not good. That doesn't say good things about the defense either. The Saturday games are Winnipeg at Toronto. Winnipeg is getting 2. Toronto picked up Dexter McCluster, former NFLer, and the only reason I really know about this guy is because he used to make the Broncos' lives miserable when he was played for the Chiefs. So I know McCluster. He can do some special things. He sounds like he wants to be up there, and he sounds like, I guess he took a year off from football and coached some high school kids, and it lit his fire back to play. So he really wants to be in there. I think Toronto, that gives him an extra weapon. I don't know how much he's actually going to play or if he's going to play. Winnipeg, to me, they're still so hard to figure. This is a team that realistically could be 4-1. They really could. And Nichols is getting better. But I like the Franklin kid. I really do. I like that Franklin kid that's in Toronto. They picked up McCluster. Will Winnipeg want revenge? I don't know, but this is in Toronto. So once again, it's the West coming out to the East to go play a game in Toronto. They got Winnipeg favored by 2, but I'm gonna go with Toronto on this. I'm gonna say Franklin. You know what? Boy, I have a hard time with this one. Winnipeg disappointed me so much, but I know that Nichols is getting better. Now I'm going to stick with Toronto. My gut is saying stick with Toronto. Toronto in Toronto. Remember, this is the defending champions. These are the defending Grey Cup champions. And Franklin played pretty well. They said Ricky Ray, I guess, was advised not to come back this season. And Franklin hasn't played bad in his game. So I'm gonna say that Toronto pulls this one off. The next game is Calgary versus Montreal. This is a trap game to me. Montreal's 1-3. Last year they had a terrible losing streak that trickled into this year. Calgary's 4-0, but Bo Levi Mitchell got hurt last week. So they've been using Arbuckle in practice and the other guy. But Bo Levi Mitchell has been at practice. So they still got 2 days to get him healthy. And they said he was standing on the sidelines comfortably during practice. They said he even could have basically, if he wanted, he could have finished the game. And last year, he did play with a torn shoulder, his throwing shoulder. So if he'll play through that, I think a little minor lower, and they're calling it a lower body injury or something like that, I don't think that's going to keep him out. I really think that the coach will sit there and let him play. Unless, and to me, if they don't, then they must think they have it in the bag against Montreal. But don't assume that you can just, beat a team. If you can win the game, win the game. Put your best out there. And, I mean, if Bo Levi Mitchell played with a torn shoulder last year, why not, with a tweaked knee or whatever he has, or, he said it felt like he rolled his ankle or something like that. So I don't know what he has. All they'll say is the official thing is lower body injury. So lower extremity injury or something like that. So I really think Bo Levi Mitchell's going to play in this game. I think if Calgary gets up big, then they may pull him for Arbuckle. And maybe they'll even, let Arbuckle take a drive or two. I don't know. I don't know how they would do it. But I think he'll play. I think he'll play, and I think Calgary will beat Montreal. I think it's a risky game. If Bo Levi Mitchell doesn't start, then I don't think they're taking Montreal serious enough. But I'll still give Calgary the nod, but I think Montreal will make it closer. But so I'm going to go. So those are my picks. Hamilton to beat Saskatchewan. I wouldn't take the 10.5 on that, but I think Hamilton will beat them. I think Masoli will have a really good game. I think he's going to break the record. I think he's going to have 10 straight games at over 300 yards. And he's going to do it in front of the Ticats, fans, so that'll be cool. Ottawa should beat BC, depending on Lele. I still don't know enough about Lele to know if he's really, really good. If BC beats Ottawa, then I've got to stop picking Ottawa to win. But I'm going to take Ottawa in this game. I think Harris and Powell bounce back and have better games. They can't have much worse games than they did last week. Winnipeg at Toronto. I'm going to say that Franklin pulls this one off. If Franklin has a bad game against Winnipeg, then maybe Franklin only had decent games going up against his former team because he knows a little bit about them playing against Edmonton. But I think Franklin will have a pretty good game, and I think that Toronto will beat Winnipeg. And I don't know how much Dexter McCluster will play, but if you're an Argo fan, know this: he's versatile, and he's torched NFL defenses before because I've watched him do it to the Broncos. So Dexter McCluster is capable. He did take a year off, but he looks like he's in pretty good shape. And then I think Calgary will beat Montreal, depending on if Levi Mitchell starts, or Arbuckle will depend on how much they win by. I think if Levi Mitchell starts, they'll probably win pretty easily. If Arbuckle starts, I think it's because they're not taking Montreal serious enough, and they could be ripe for the upset on that one. So Hamilton, the Ticats should beat Saskatchewan. Ottawa should beat BC. So basically, I'm going home. I'm basically going home for everybody. Calgary, Toronto, Ottawa, Hamilton. If you're at home, I'm picking you to win. So what do you think? Do you think I'm nuts? Do you think that all these picks are wrong? What do you think I'm going to finish at this week? 2-2, 1-3, 4-0, 0-4. Please don't say 0-4. I'd hate to be that bad. It's like, but it's like maybe I'm hoping to get like a 2-2 so I can pull myself to like, I'd be like 3-4. And it feels a little bit better, and maybe I can start going on that upswing. But if I can go 3-1, doggy, we'd be looking at 4-3 on the year, and I'd be above 500. I'd be feeling pretty good about myself. But we'll see, because when I do the CFL report on Sunday Smorgasbord, I'll tell you how I did. So let me know what your picks are for the week going forward for week 6 in the CFL. With all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.